This is the roulette wheel. This says orphelin, P-H-E. I can say poor. I can say rope. I can say hell. In hell is our poor. Okay. 17, 34, 51 is Mars. 40, creation in Mars. DC. 6 is a combination. The fox is in Mars. This is the gateway. Do you know how we make this? 2 and 8 is 10, right? 1 and 6 is 7. It's saying, I'm thinking that the 1, 7, okay, because you have to understand that 1 plus 6 equals to 7. 0, 1 equals to 7. Okay. If you have 19, 1 and 9 is 10. 1 and 10 is 1 and 0. 0 equals 6. 6 equals 7 becomes 1 and 7. Okay. They always become 1 and 7. Every 10 becomes 1 and 7. The 17th letter is the queen, and it is in the L family. That's this year's Super Bowl. L is 50. The L is the 12th letter. Okay. It is also the reader. Okay. Maybe that's why the queen reads. Okay. She can move anywhere in chess. She reads, but they don't play queen in checkers. They play king me. Okay. Give me a crown. 57, 75. 3 numbers that make 57, 19 times 3. 5 numbers that make 75, 5 by 25. 25 and 19, 44. Over here, this year's Super Bowl. So if we have a score, the winner versus the loser, what's going to be the score? 20 to 17 is the queen's number. 31, 17 is the number towards the church. 34, 31, if I presume, is the last year's Super Bowl. So will any of these numbers come out? I don't know. I just want to show you that 26 rides high on top. 2 and 6 is 8. 23 creation is split with 8. This is one side of the board, and this is the other side. There's a North American side, okay, and there's a European side. Now, what I want to talk about now is the deck of cards, okay? I just want to talk about the 10, the jack, the queen, the king, and the ace. That is what they call the royal flush. When you add up 10 over to ace, it is 5 cards. 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. 1 and 4 equals to your 5. 1, 0, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 to 5 equals to 15. 1 and 5 is 6. When you add up 10 plus 11 plus 12 plus 13 plus 14, it equals to the average. The average is 12. 10, 11, 12 is the average, which is the queen. 13 and 14, 12. So we have 5 12s equals to 60. 6 and 0, 0 equals 6. 66 equals 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 6 and 12 is 18. So the 3, 6, 9 equals to your 18, and you have 6 and 3 creation. The jack is the 10th letter. It will be 1 or 7. You remember what I said? The queen is number 17. The 17 is the Q. 1 and 7 goes here. 7 jack with 8 hearts. 7 jack with 3 clubs. 7 jack with 4 diamonds. 7 jack with 1 spade, or 1 and 1, 1 and 4, 1 and 3, 1 and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 40, or 28, which is the cycle of the moon. So jack can run the cycle of the moon. 8, 3, 11, 15, 16, running the cycle of the moon. 7 and 16. 16, 1 and 6 is 7, running 77 to running Christ inside the numbers of jack. That's what they promote. 52, 25 is 77, the number in the church, the number of creation, and what creates electric company. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 plus 8 is 11 equals 35, and will create electric company. EC, earth creation. EC is earth, and C is the 3rd letter. Earth is the 3rd planet, but E is also number 5, and that's where Jupiter comes in. Electric company. Creation inside the jack of clubs and the heart. These are the this is a red and a black. Diamond and heart is red and red. This equals to 162, or 7 and 5 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 7, 8 is 15 is 6. 6 and 3 is creation inside the combination. The club is now 63. The spade, 2 black cards, 70 and 63, 133, 313, altered current inside the black card. The black card is now 1 and 1, or 7 and 1. And the black card is 1 and 3, altered current through the gateway in the black cards. The heart is 1 and 8. J and H is 1 and 8 equals 9. And J and D equals 5, 5, and 8 is the speed of the matrix, the movement of your red blood. I'm just comparing to what we can talk about. Then we have the queen. The Q is the 17th letter, becomes 8888. But there's only two eights because there's two reds and there's two blacks. The club and the spade. When you put C with S together, S is 19, C is 3, 22, V for life. And D and H designated hitter, or the ninth position. 0408 equals to 12. 04 equals 64 and 68, communication. 64 and 68, 8 and 4 is 12, 1 and 2 is 3, 6 and 6 is 3, 33, command of creation. Inside the heart is 52. Inside the queen is 62, because QUEEN equals 62. Inside Q and U is number 38. Is number 38 total 21 and 1 and 7. The cube and the gateway inside the queen, because that's what it represents in a basic layman terms. Okay, now you have the queen, 52 and 62, 114. If you add 1 to 14, you have the hand of God, you have Abraham. 62, 114, add 1 to 14 equals 105, 165. The queen of hearts runs inside the red sun. 38 is the black. 45 is the black, equals to 83. It's a reverse of this one. So this one is the fox. Sun and the fox create the church inside the club and the spade. Inside the club and the spade, look at that. The gateway to the game of craps. 7 with 7 comes 11, or 7 and 2. Add up 7 to 11 equals to 18. G, K, and R. The king gets capped. They bring the French evaluation inside of here. Okay, if you add up 1 to 17, okay, it will add up to 153. If you add to 18, it's 171. If you add to 19, it's 190. If you add to 20, it's 210, becomes 216. And that's the final Mayan count, 260 hours, 216 hours in a 9-day cycle, plus you add the 1 day on for the link. You have the gateway, 212, the diamond. Remember, the diamond goes all four ways. Its height and its diameter is on the cross, 212. This is 1/3 of the year we are going to have this year, because this year is a leap year. You have the queen, which is 60 and 62, 122. Queen of clubs, 38 and 60, 100, becomes coming of the light through the queen of clubs. Now, if we took the queen of clubs and we added to the jack, we have 8 and 1, right? Q is the 17th letter. Jack is the 10th letter. This becomes 8 and 1. This becomes the running of the hare. What does it mean, the running of the hare? Well, the H, A-R, okay, R is the 18th letter, A is the AJ, becomes the A letter, and Q becomes the H letter. And it just says the hare, and hare is like a rabbit hare, it's communication, it's 2 antennas running on 2 moons, and in between is Luna. So if you run the Jack of Hearts with the Queen of Hearts, okay, Jack of Hearts with the Queen of Hearts, you will get 52, okay, over for the heart, which is 7 and 7, and in this area you'll get 7, and this area you'll get 8. 7 and 8 becomes the doorway for the Christ of creation in the club to the church. 38 for club, 38 for club, 25 for jack, and 8 for the queen, and 7 for the jack. See, this is both 7s. This is 7 here and 8 here. So this one and this one is 7 and 8. This one and this one is 7 and 7. The Christ connects both sides through the heart and the heart. The club creates 2 and 7. So it's time. Okay? 72 times 5. 5 is the average, creating time. And club, creating 2 and 8. 2 and 8 is the cycle of the moon of time. Jack of clubs and queen of clubs. So now we're going to go over to the king. The king is the 11th letter. 1 and 1 is 2. 2 and 8 with the heart. That is the cycle of the moon. 7 times 4 is the passageway. 3, 1, 3 is altered current. Now, I don't know how this all works. I'd have to see the numbers in order to place them for you, and then you can take it on the scientific way. I can only show you. And again, inside the club, all the clubs will be 2, 2, 2, 2. So when you have king and club, right, that's 2 and 3, beta communication. This is your CB communication codes. There are 200 of them, but in the second part of the second 100, we barely use any of them at all. Inside 38 for king, and 41 for king, and 38 for club. 5 and 2. Representation, king of clubs is earth. King of Hearts is 5 and 7, which is a representation of the egg. Okay, E and G. Now, what is E and G? 5775. 5 times 7 is 35. It's the creation of the moon within, because it will create number 4 and 7. Okay, now there's more to discuss. I'm only bringing out the basics. In here, it creates 101. So this is definite that 9 lives of the cat, because 101 is 6 and 8. And 2 times 4, 2 plus 4, which is the representation of 42, the number to the cat, which creates 6 and 8. 6 and 8 will create your 14 is your DNA, which gets you your crown. 2 and 4, which 42, which is FIVE equals 42, and NINE. That means when you come into this world through Jupiter and you are born, you get both numbers and you are the freedom of 55. Electric company, 5 times 5, 5 plus 5 equals 25 and 10, 35. 3 times 8, 3 plus 8 equals 24 and 11, 53. So this and 25, this and 55 will both create electric company. 7 times 6, 7 plus 6 is 13 and 42, 55. We're going to go down over here. 86 is the number over here where the King of Spades comes in. Your DNA coming in through the spirit of the cat. King and Jack come together. King is 2 and Jack is 1, A and B, as well as Ace, Ace, King, Jack, but not the Queen, because the Ace is the first letter is a 1, but becomes 01. That 01 becomes 61. This Jack becomes 16, bringing the coming of the light. You put these together to get the continuous of the light. 1661 plus 110, 1771, because that is the connecting borders, 110. I don't know where I can actually explain it. 91 and 19, 28 and 82, 73 and 37, 46 and 64, 55 and 55, 110, all connecting with the Queen, because the Queen is the connection of 1 and 9 is 10. 0 equals 6 equals 7, therefore 10 will now equal 1 and 6, which equals 7. But instead of saying the 6 inside the 0, you have the totals. 1 and 7 comes together is 17. 17, 34, 51, and it all runs through Mars. Okay, the IT system and the spade, 45 inside a spade, all spades equals 45, running under the sun, and the creator of the IT system, 4 times 5, 4 plus 5, creates the letters I and T. Now there's more to be created in this, okay? So you have 86. Now you have the Ace of Hearts, which becomes 61. This is the running inside Saturn lights. Saturn runs 61 moons, okay? They marked 60 moons. It went up to 61. It may be 62 now, but irrelevant. 60, 61, 62. 5 is a representation of Mars, and 5 and 1, okay, which is the spirit. Take away the 1 because it's only a quarter life. It's in between. The 1 is in between the center of the 4. So forget about that. Okay, we're going to forget about that. I'm going to explain to you why. 1 runs inside 4, creating 5. Now, we talked about 0. Okay, now what it is about that 0, where is it the 61, is that even though 0 equals 5 to creating the 2 sides, 1, if I split 1 here, 1 creates 2 sides. It splits 2 sides in half. 1 goes through the center of 2 sides and goes through the center. Like a pitchfork, if you poke the pitchfork, it'll make a hole here, and a hole here. The hole over here will energize, okay, through your arms of the beholder of the sword, and into here, and spin with the time clock if you want to look at it that way. When you have 61, why I say it's 5, because 1 and 6 equals 7, 6 and 4 are the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 8, 7, 6. They become the same. Okay, 1 is on one side. The life is with the 1. The club creates 38 again, the church, plus 9, 47, movement of the moon. Moon time, 7 times 4, 313, altered current. The ace of diamonds, 60 and 9. 69, this creates your 135, ace position. Now, what does that 135 mean in science? What does it mean in numerology? Because it comes out in the ace of diamonds, one of the biggest ones. Okay, 69 is your rotation. Ace spade becomes 54, the foxhole passage in the sun. The spade, the aid. 10, now all 10s equal 20, equals 2. That means 1 and 2 equals earth, ace 10 equals earth, and jack 10 equals earth. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. The jack will become 7, the 10 will become 8. Now you have your gateway between 10, because it's 10, the 10th letter. 1, 0, 0 equals 6 becomes 7. This is 2, 0. The 0 equals 6. becomes 6 and 2, 1 and 6. They connect together to create 3. 1 and 2 must create 3. 1 and 2 must create 3. It's an angle. It's the top, the middle, and the bottom. It's the left, the center, and the right. Or it's a cross angle, but it's taking the sky, the middle, and the ocean below. We walk on the ground. We stay level to the center. Our body is level. We're grounded to the earth. So we have all the 10s. So we have 52. We have 90. Then we have diamond is 60, is 150, and 45 is 195. 195. E-I-E-I-O. 9 times 5 is 45. Runner in the sun. 9 and 5 is 14. Part of Abraham. Plus 1 is 15. And that connects the spirit inside the moons, Mars moons. Okay. Now when you want to go to the 10, the T, you have 80. 80, that's your weed point because it connects the coral reef. Once you sew up the coral inside the mind, you connected the two sides of the mind. You connect it, you connect it, you connect it, you connect it, you take it off. You connect it, you connect it, you connect it, you take it off. 80, 420, weed time. Okay? The jack is 40. The 10 is 80. Right away, jack 10, 8 and 4 will now represent Pluto. The ace is 0, 1, 7. This you can count as 8 if you want. We can count this at 16. Becomes 48. Again, we're back to Pluto. We can count the jack as 40 or 16 times 4, 64. Jack is the motion circling this way. The queen is 17, becomes 68, becomes everything to do with the 9 lives of the cat. Without the queen, you can't connect anything. The king becomes 44, area space that the queen is connected through the jack 10. So you would have over here 52, 90, 150, 195, and 6, 201. 201, 0 equals 6, 261, 216, again, back to the number of the Mayans. So over here, you would have 195, 195, 195. 195 times 2 suits equals to 390. Creation of the sky becomes 396. 390 times 2 equals to 780 the doorway, or 786 equals 21 the doorway inside the cube. Now if we have 195 times 4 equals to 786, right? Because you have to multiply and we end up with a 0 at the end. 6, 7, and 8. 6, 7, 8 in the deck of cards are all the same. All you have is the upper and the lower connection inside the center of the card. Forget about the center. It's the 4 corners and the center that separates and puts together a card. You see, the center of the card is duplicated. The 6 card is 2 in the center, right? But the top and the bottom go over. You join them too. You put a hook, and now you connect them together by overlapping, making it a little bit smaller. Or you don't have to overlap, because otherwise if you overlap, you end up with a canal, because one area is higher than the other and the boats won't move. So did we end up with the canal that way, or did we put them this way like the oceans? And we just put a plug inside each one, each side hole. You put a plug in here, right, and inside to this hole over here, and now they can't move. Which way did you overlap them? The other mechanical way of thinking is when you have 19 or 28, it's 1 times the value of 9, or 2 times the value of 8, or 3 times the value of 9, if you want to do it that way. There's only 1, 2, 3, because 1 and 2 go within each other, right? So that's why we're not going anywhere with 1. We're going to go back to one more thing. When you get all jacks, you get 100. Plus 195 becomes 295. When you get all queens, it becomes 248. Right? 2 times 4 is 8. 248 and 195. 248 plus 195 equals to 443. 343, which is 7 times 7 times 7. Runner of DC. When you get the king, it becomes 164. Zion, Israel, to 195. 164 and 195 equals to 359. Okay? Then when you get the ace, okay, you get the ace position. The ace is 999 is 36 creation, and 195, 36 and 195 equals 231 ABC. Now the whole thing is you have to divide them. Do you go with black and black? How you pair them up? And this is the thing I go through every single day putting things together. Remember, red equals 27 equals 9. Black equals 29. Red equals 27. 2 and 9, okay, is 11. 2 and 7 is 9, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters. 1, 2, 3 letters. Electric company. 5 and 29 is 24 and 34. 3 and 7 is 24 and 30 becomes 36, and 34 creation equals 70 becomes 76. What am I doing? I'm adding the letters. There's 3 letters here. 2 of the letters are under 10. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the letters. This one is half because there's 2 zeros that will end up in here equals 120 or 1/3. There's 1, 2, 3 in here, which equals to 240. The black equals to the cycle of 240. This equals to the cycle of 120. The total of the two between black and red, and remember, we always play black and white when it comes to the game. White equals 65 equals 11. 3 equals 56 equals 11. And there's just so many calculations, and what we get out of it is what science you're working on to bring things closer together. Isn't it neat the way it looks like I have these big eyes that are puffed in or coming out? Raphael, 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. Thank you for the moment of time.